Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Yes Academy podcast. And with me today, Mr. Phang
Hi.
and Darren Lee.
Hello.
So, last episode we were talking about the people who, after 2 years, they still need to be
After some time, they have
after
been in the
some time.
business, then suddenly lost interest.
Yes.
Yeah, very interesting stories shared by both of you, Leo and also Darren, when it comes to how we can actually, or how the entrepreneurs can actually reignite by focusing on the big why. Yeah, the big why. And having said that, right, I have read about this concept called ikigai. I'm not sure whether you have heard about it or not. It's basically a Japanese word, Ikigai, and basically what it means is that it's called a sense of purpose, which is that what is your purpose in life, and which is very similar to what we have been discussing in the last episode.
Yes. It's actually an interesting one because, how do I put it this way? If without purpose in life, you are basically like a dead person, zombie, I would say.
But do you know that there are a lot of people out there who don't have a life purpose?
Plenty.
Yeah.
And you ask them, so what is your purpose? You say, I don't know. I wake up in the morning, I prepare myself, I go to work, finish the work, and then go back to my place and have a nice dinner, have a good rest, watch TV, and the cycle begins again.
Yeah, that applies to many people actually.
Usually I will ask two questions. And the two questions I will ask is basically, now when you wake up and it's a working day, there are two scenarios. Number one, you wake up and you say you are telling yourself, yes, I feel so excited to go to work. Or the second scenario where you wake up and you say, do I have to go to work? I mean, which you think will be most of the people, which you think they are?
The second one, definitely.
Yeah, the first one. No, sorry, the second one.
Yes,
right? The
yes,
second
yes,
one.
correct,
Most of them, yes, most of them the second one. So what it means is that a lot of people out there, they don't have a big why. I would say that they may have a why, but they don't have a big why.
Yeah. So there's two situations, right? So first of all, they don't have the big why yet. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So and the second and the second type of person is that they used to have a big why, right? But now they are lost, right? They are lost. But either way, the only person who can discover that is themselves, right? So either but of course there is with the help, right? With the help of some people, with the help of professionals, like professional means coach, right? They can hire a coach, or they can get a mentor, right? Then that will help them to rediscover their why, right? But ultimately, they need to ask themselves, right? Okay, what makes me passionate, right? What makes me excited, right? Excited in the job that I'm doing or in the business I'm doing, right? So there must be one thing. So again, right, it still go back to the one thing, right? When they accept the job offer, right? Let's say for employees, right? Or when they start a business, always, right? They can always ask this way, what is the reason I accept the job offer? And what is the reason I start a business, right? Money can be one of the big why. It is one of it, right? I have bill to pay. You have to be excited, okay, to start work, right? So that one can be one of the anchors for me to, okay, I need to go work because I have bills to pay, right? Secondly, my children education, I have to, right? Thirdly, I have my goal of getting a car, example, my goal of getting a house, right? So that one can be a big why. So the big why not necessarily something very complicated. Don't necessarily, like we mentioned earlier, I want to become a monk, or like, I want to help Africa, right? Go to Africa. That is for some people that is too far, right? But we always can get our big why near to us, right? So again, right, they need to always ask themselves again, when I accept the job offer, right, when I start the business, what is the purpose? What is the reason? Yeah.
Yes, very interesting sharing from both of you. Now, in this episode, I would like to ask Darren about what about those people whom they are so determined until you know it's the wrong way to go, but yet they will still go for it. Sometimes I call these people as stubborn people, but for them, no, they are. I'm determined. I want to achieve, and I will follow this path. So, isn't it unwise to just go and you know that this path is not going to work?
I think it depends, right? Like, if let's say they're going towards a positive way, then it is good to be stubborn, right? But if let's say if they go
But
to the
they don't call it stubborn. We don't call it stubborn. They call it, I'm resilient. I'm determined.
I'm resilient.
Yeah.
So if they say that one achieve their life goal, right? Then of course it is good, right?
But they are not achieving it. But
Okay.
they don't see it. You know.
They don't see.
They always feel that when the time comes, yeah, I will see the results.
Okay.
But having tried so many times, yet they are not getting there.
Okay. So so again, right? So if let's say they are not getting it, right? If they're not getting it yet, right? So it still depends on two ways of relooking things, right? So one of it, we can call them a very resilient people, right? In fact, if you look at no, again, I would like to use the book that I recently read, which is Greed, right? So in fact, one of the factors, okay, for a greed person, GRIT, like greed person, is that they stay with the cause, right? They stay with the activity, even though the activity is very boring, right, for a long time, okay. But however, it doesn't mean that if let's say the thing doesn't go according to do not achieve the result, they should stay on it, right? Ultimately, they also need to know if the action that they do does it contribute to their goals at the end of the day. I like to use this concept of a deliberate practice, right? So like sports person, I like to use sports person, right? Okay, sports person, if let's say because sports person, they practice every day, right? So every day, like footballers, they need to run every day, need to dribble the ball, the same activity every day, right? It doesn't mean that today I do dribble, the next day I do different thing. They will need to practice the same skills every day, right? However, if let's say that practice do not contribute to the improvement, right? Then that practice is wrong, right? Is wrong. So they need to do a deliberate practice where need to have a coach who, like, when they do the practice, they do let's say dribbling, right? Okay, the coach need to come and tell them, hey, this is not the way you dribble. You need to dribble the different way, right? So that one is worth to be stubborn, right? Meaning boring, but it contributes to the growth of the person towards the goal. Then it's worth of it. It is worth to be gritty. It's worth to be stubborn and resilient in doing the boring things every day, because sometimes, right, doing a boring things is important for us to achieve the goal. Okay, yeah.
I remember we talked about this, right? About this point. We used Usain Bolt as an example in one of our episodes.
Yes, very long time. Yeah.
A few episodes back.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which means that what I've got from you is that doing the boring stuff over and over again, practicing it over and over again.
Yeah, practice over and over again. If let's say that process, like you mentioned, I believe you mentioned earlier about process, right? In your earlier episode about sales, right? About processes. That process, okay, the process is mundane. It's very boring. You do the same thing every day, right? In the sales example, every day you call, right? You need to call a person, get the order, need to follow up. It is something that is very boring, but we must do, right? Okay, but it is important for us to do. Right, so that being resilient on that is very important. However, if let's say now where they do the wrong thing over and over again, right, being resilient and being stubborn of doing my way or highway, right? If they say this way is obviously do not contribute to the goals, not contribute to the sales, clients start to call in and they say, hey, why your staff do like this, right? Okay, why your staff do like this? I'm not happy with how your staff do things, right? The processes, something wrong with the processes, and we still continue resilient with that processes, then something wrong. So that's why it is important for us to do this thing called deliberate practice, right? So meaning, okay, do the things. If the process need to improve, then we need to improve, right? It same goes to the you mentioned just now. If let's say the person do the same thing over again, but it doesn't contribute to the goal, then it is time for them to basically look at a different way of doing things that will achieve the goals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
On your part, right, Leo, how do you get your entrepreneurs, right, in your organization to keep doing it again and again? And because this kind of what you call mundane
The mundane
Repetition.
practice, right?
mundane practice, right? And I don't believe a lot of people likes this kind of mundane practice.
Nobody likes it. Well, actually, just like what he mentioned, he has to reignite their big why as well. If they lost their big why, we need to remember why they started the journey. And if they don't have a big why, we have to help rediscover them. I mean, this is something have to do. I'll give a very simple scenario here. Most people start to actually exercise after they have health problem. That is most people. Because when they see that, oh, okay, the doctors tell them that if you don't start to take care of your health, that's it. You maybe a few more months to live, or that's more extreme cases, right? Then that's where people start to take care. So there are ways where we can actually, like to say, remind them or give them a wake up call before bad things happen. Sometimes we tell them the experiences of other people. So by listening to, some people who has a very bad habit, so they may relate themselves to those people, and then they say, oh, okay, if I continue this way of habit, like for example, I eat a lot of oily food, too much thing, and then I don't work out, then eventually I'll have all these kind of symptoms. Then they might, I use the word, might be afraid. Ultimately, I would say that most people actually only learns from pain. And that's the way of life. So first is to let them know that if they continue this path, by sharing a story, because if you criticize them, they won't like it. So the most subtle way or the most polite way to actually bring it to them is actually tell them that if you continue your path, see, let me give you 3 stories. These are the 3 stories that they have undergone, and then what happened to them. So you may want to consider another option. So another way would be actually to give them a purpose. Like, everyone likes pleasant food, comfortable food. But all these pleasant, tasty, comfortable food are usually high in calories. Because our human body is actually wired or engineered to actually like high calorie food, because back in, let's just say, a few hundred years ago, 200 years ago, before the Industrial Revolution, food is a scarce commodity. So it's actually very difficult to feed yourself and keep yourself full. That's why we crave for high calorie food, because it gives us full and we can keep the energy, and then we can go on for further. Because let's just say, especially in the winter countries, countries with 4 seasons, during the winter you can't do anything. You can't plant. There's nothing coming in, especially in our agrarian society where you can't really process food and keep food. So that's where we are tested. So moving today, there are more food than humans. And let's put it this way: hunger is actually engineered right now for political benefits. So we have to go back to the big why. Why do we want to do this? Why do we want to be healthy? For most cases, for men, why do you want to become, handsome? Because you want more female to like you. So for the same for the women as well. Why do they want to keep beautiful and slim? Because they want more men to take notice of them. So back to the big why as well. Yeah. So these 2 things.
Right. Very interesting discussion. Darren, anything to add on to what Leo has said?
Yeah, I think I like what Leo mentioned about exercise, right? So I know Leo do exercise very religiously, right? So like I think Leo go to gym 3 times a week, right? So
Yes.
regardless where Leo go, even travel, to multiple country, the one thing that Leo won't compromise is the exercise, right?
Yes.
Because during our conversation before the podcast just now, Leo mentioned the most important thing is health, right?
Yes.
So health is a big why. So Leo, do you enjoy exercise, like going heavy thing, body pain,
Yes.
right?
It's one of my purpose.
Yep, correct.
It must be done no matter what.
Correct. So the processes maybe is the processes of go to the gym, right? The carry weight and all. That one maybe is not something enjoyable for most of people like me, right? Okay. However, what keep us still exercise, right, is the big why, which is the health, right? The processes may not be enjoyable, right? The process will not be enjoyable. The process can be boring. Like every day I need to go to gym, right? Or at least I need to go to gym, 3 days a week. Even like Leo travel so far, right? So apart from jet lag, to reach there still need to go to the gym. But ultimately, the big why do drive us.
And talking about that, right? On top of that, now is it any, if let's say we add varieties, for example, you're talking about exercises, right? Now, of course, when we go to the gym, we do the same thing, it can be a bit boring. Now, let's say we add a bit more variety. Will that change the results in that sense? For example, right? Instead of going to the gym 3 times a week, maybe I would like to add on some pickleball exercise, for example. Will that help in terms of changing the results?
Yeah, definitely, right? You add some flavors, right? Okay, to our routine. Definitely, it will help us to in a way add on the motivation for us to do things, right? Okay, so definitely. Example, let's say now I'm always do exercise alone, right? So now, if let's say I have a friends to go do in me, right? So ultimately, that will help me to continue my activities, right? Like example, let's say now, if let's say I'm go to the gym, right? If I get the trainer, in fact, of course, the trainer of for the we go to the gym, got personal trainer. It helps us to make sure our posture is correct, make sure we do the right thing. But ultimately, right, a trainer also act as a motivator. First, I paid already, I have to go, right?
Yes.
Secondly, right, in a way, I give commitment not to the trainer but to myself, all right? Because if I don't go, my trainer might angry with me, so I will go also, right? Correct or not? So if let's say now I have apart from doing gym, I do pickleball, right? Let's say now I promise my group of friends we will do pickleball no matter how we will do it every week, once in every week. If I don't go, right, ultimately I will feel, if I don't go, then my friends won't go and play. So it gives some motivation, that okay, I will go, not because of me, but because of my friend, right? So ultimately, it will help us. It will help us also, right? So we can leverage on this to motivate us to do something mundane.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to really share with you some of the stories, especially in the gym room, because I have a very interesting trainer. Yes, like you said, the training is important, but the group of friends you have also are important. Like, for example, in the gym room, there's a girl called Xingyan. She can do road skipping for 5,000 times.
Oh, wow.
5,000 times in that day. I was like, wow, 5,000, how do you achieve that? So I started challenging myself. So after 300, 400 times, I was like, no, it's too much. My calf started aching. So, but then again, this is the motivation. Because I see her like that, 5,000 times, then it gives me challenge. Can I do at least 1,000 times? And then I started doing it. Maybe the first few hundred is difficult, but as I add on more, and challenge myself more, then I'll add up. And when I go to the gym, sometimes I see someone carrying like this weight, let's say 30 kilo, 40 kilo. So I was like, if this person around the same size as me, around the same weight as me can do it, why not me? So ultimately, it's the environment that shapes you, because everyone can excel in a good environment, I would say. Then again, when you're in a bad environment, do you actually realize it? And can you bring yourself to a good environment? Or can you create a good environment for the other people? So I think this is something very important to actually change, to have a paradigm shift on one person, I would say.
Good, right. Interesting points brought up by both of you. So let me just summarize in terms of, yes, always go back to the big why. Yes, still go back to the big why. And if you want to add more variety, do add more variety, but do not lose sight of your big why.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are the 2 points that I have gathered. And of course, with these 2 points, I'm very sure that our audience will know what to do if they feel that the things that they are doing is not getting the results, or they suddenly realize that they're becoming bored, or they're not getting the results that they want. Yeah. And I believe that they will get some pointers from our episode for today.
Yes, that's true. Well, guys, if you like what we have been sharing, please hit the like and share button. It really keeps us all moving. And then please do not forget to comment if you have any questions. And if you have anything that you want to let us talk about, please also comment as well. And we'll see you again in the next episode. Thank you so much.